I am standing in the middle of my own living room, watching my daughter-in-law, Amber, rip my photographs off the wall, while 90 relatives stare at me in absolute silence. It is my 68th birthday. My son, Justin, hands me documents featuring my forged signature. "You transferred this house to us last month. You signed right here. See?" Amber reaches into my pocket and snatches my wallet. She tells me I will not be needing it anymore. A man in a black suit stands by the door. Justin points to him and explains that their lawyer is here to confirm that everything is legal. 2 days later, they would be calling me 73 times a day, begging for mercy. But at this moment, as the glass from my picture frames shatters against the floor, I have no idea what is about to happen. Let me go back 30 seconds. 30 seconds before my life exploded. I am opening the front door of my suburban home after buying a cake for my own birthday. I hear music inside. Voices, many voices. I think Justin organized a surprise party. I walk in smiling. The living room is packed. I do a quick count. There are at least 90 people. Cousins I have not seen in years. Uncles, neighbors, Justin's childhood friends. Everyone is dressed up. Gold balloons hang from the ceiling. There is a long table with expensive catering. Bottles of Napa Valley wine that I could never afford. My heart swells. My son loves me. My son remembered. My son did this for me. Then I see Amber's face. She is not smiling. She is standing by the wall where I keep my family photos. 40 years of memories hanging there. My wedding, Justin's birth, his graduations, Christmases, birthdays, beach vacations from when we still had money. Amber grabs my wedding photo. She looks at it, looks at me, and rips it off the wall with a single jerk. The nail is left exposed. The wall has a hole. The frame hits the floor, and the glass explodes. 90 people stop talking at the same time. The silence is so thick I can hear my own breathing. "What are you doing?" I manage to say. My voice sounds small and broken. Amber does not answer. She grabs another photo. The one of Justin at 3 years old holding his first toy. She rips it away. The frame falls. More shattered glass. Another photo. My college graduation. The proudest day of my life. She rips it down. It falls. It breaks. She keeps going with the next one. And the next. And the next. She counts 7, 8, 9, 10 frames thrown on the floor. My memories are turned into shards between my bare feet. Nobody moves. Nobody says a word. They just watch. Justin appears at my side. I do not know when he got so close. He is wearing a perfect gray suit, freshly pressed. He smells like expensive cologne. He has a watch on his wrist that shines so brightly it hurts to look at. I have never seen him wear something like that. He never had money for those things. In his hand, he holds folded papers. He opens them in front of my face. I recognize a notary public logo in the corner. There are stamps, signatures, dates. My name is written in large letters. "Look closely, Mother," he says in a voice I do not recognize. It sounds practiced. "Cold. You transferred this house to us last month. You signed right here. See?" He points to the end of the first page. There is a signature. It looks like mine. It has the same curves, the same slant. But I never signed that. I never saw that document in my life. I try to take the papers to look closer, but Justin holds them higher, forcing me to reach, making me look ridiculous in front of everyone. I hear a muffled laugh from the back. I do not turn to see who it was. Amber walks toward me with slow steps. She is wearing a champagne-colored dress that probably cost more than 3 months of my Social Security check. Her hair is pulled back in an elegant bun. She has pearl earrings and a matching necklace. Her makeup is perfect. She looks like a reality television star. I am wearing my old floral dress, the one I wear every Sunday. My shoes are 5 years old. My gray hair is barely brushed. The contrast is brutal, and she knows it. She reaches her hand toward me. Her nails are freshly painted a pale pink. "Your wallet, Eleanor." She does not say mother-in-law. She just says my name, as if we were 2 strangers on the street. "You won't be needing it anymore." Her cold fingers reach into my dress pocket without asking permission. I feel the invasion like a slap. She pulls out my brown leather wallet, worn and old. She opens it in front of everyone as if she were showing evidence in a trial. She pulls out my cards one by one. The bank card, the grocery store loyalty card, my health insurance card, the pharmacy discount card. She holds them up for everyone to see before tucking them into her designer handbag. A bag I recognize from the windows of shops where I can never afford to buy anything. The keys too, Justin says. I reach into my other pocket. My hands are shaking so much I can barely get them out. There are 3 keys on a simple keychain. The front door, the gate, my bedroom. I have carried them for 30 years. Ever since I bought this house with the money from my severance package. Ever since I got divorced and swore I would never depend on anyone again. Justin extends his hand. I drop the keys into his palm. They sound metallic. Final. The man in the black suit approaches. He is tall. He has glasses, a leather briefcase, and a red tie. He looks important. He looks official. I am Arthur Sterling, he says in a deep voice. Attorney for the family. Everything is in order legally. The property was transferred on October 18th through a public deed. Notarized and registered. The new owners have the right to ask you to vacate. He pulls more papers from his briefcase and puts them in my hands. I see seals, numbers, legal words I do not understand. My vision blurs. The letters dance before my eyes. You have until tomorrow at noon to get your things out, Amber says. Her voice is sweet, almost kind, but her eyes are empty. Be reasonable, Eleanor. Don't make a scene in front of the family. I look around looking for help. I look for a cousin to defend me, an aunt to say this is wrong, a neighbor to speak up. Nobody looks me in the eye. Everyone studies the floor, the walls, their shoes. My cousin Elaine, whom I grew up with, turns completely the other way. The silence crushes me. It suffocates me. It buries me alive. Justin takes a cardboard box that was hidden behind the sofa. He puts it at my feet. You can take your clothes and personal items, nothing else. Amber smiles. It is a small, victorious smile. The furniture stays. It is part of the house now. I see my sofa where I nursed Justin. The table where we did homework together. The lamp I bought when I got my first job. Everything I built. Everything I am. And it is no longer mine. My legs do not respond. I want to scream. I want to fight. I want to explain to those 90 pairs of eyes that this is a lie. That I never signed anything. That my son is stealing from me. But the words do not come out. My throat is closed. My chest feels heavy, as if I had stones inside. I can only stand there, watching my life fall apart in slow motion in front of a silent audience that came to celebrate my birthday and ended up witnessing my funeral in life. I bend down to pick up the cardboard box. My knees creak. Nobody offers to help me. 90 people watching a 68-year-old woman bend over with difficulty, and not a single hand reaches out. I walk toward my room dragging the box. Each step sounds hollow against the hardwood floor. I hear whispers behind me, low voices. Someone laughs. I do not turn around. I cannot turn around. If I do, I will collapse right here and never get up again. I open the door to my room, the room where I slept alone for 20 years after the divorce, where I cried the nights Justin got sick, where I sewed his clothes when we did not have money to buy new ones. I start taking clothes out of the closet. I fold each garment even though my hands are shaking. I pack my 3 dresses, my old sweaters, the robe Justin gave me 5 Christmases ago. I remember his face when he gave it to me. "So you stay warm, Mom," he said, hugging me. That boy no longer exists. The man in the gray suit outside is not my son. I do not know who he is, but he is not my son. I hear footsteps in the hallway. It is Amber. She walks in without knocking. She stands in the doorway with her arms crossed. "Hurry up, people want to use this room." "Use it for what? Are they going to sleep in my bed tonight?" I look into her eyes looking for a trace of humanity. Anything. All I see is impatience, boredom, as if I were a bothersome errand that needs to end. I take my shoes out of the closet. I have 4 pairs. All worn, all old. They fit perfectly in the box with my clothes. My whole life fits in a cardboard box. "The jewelry also belongs to the house," Amber says, pointing to my wooden jewelry box on the dresser. "It was inventoried in the transfer. That is my mother's jewelry. The only memory I have of her. A silver necklace, a few rings. They aren't expensive. They aren't valuable to anyone but me. But they were mine before, I managed to say. My voice sounds hoarse, almost inaudible. Amber walks to the jewelry box. She opens it. She checks each piece with her perfect fingers. There is no way to prove that. They stay. She snaps the jewelry box shut. The sound pierces my chest. I finish packing. The box is not even half full. 68 years of life in half a box. I lift it. It is heavy, but not as heavy as the weight I feel in my soul. I leave my room for the last time. Amber follows me closely as if I were going to steal something. I walk down the hallway. The walls are bare where my photos used to hang. Only the nails and holes remain. Frames of absence. Ghosts of who I was. I reach the living room. The 90 guests are still there. Now they are eating. There are plates of expensive food in their hands. Shrimp, meats, imported cheeses. They drink wine from crystal glasses. They talk in low voices. Some laugh. It is a party. A celebration. My expulsion is the afternoon's entertainment. I look for the exit door. Justin is blocking it. He has a glass of champagne in his hand. He toasts with someone. With my cousin Alan. Alan raises his glass and smiles. He sees me pass with my box and quickly looks away. Eleanor, Justin says. His voice stops my steps. I turn around. He walks toward me with the glass still in his hand. He stands so close I can smell the alcohol on his breath. I hope you understand that this is best for everyone. You are getting older. You cannot take care of such a large house alone. We are going to put it to better use. I look into his eyes, looking for my boy. The one who cried when he fell. The one who hugged me when he had nightmares. The one who told me he loved me every night before bed. I do not find him. I only see a stranger with my blood. I do not answer. I have no words. I walk toward the door. Justin steps aside. I open it. The cold afternoon air hits my face. I walk out. I take 3 steps. 4, 5. I hear the door close behind me with a dry thud. I stand on the sidewalk in front of what was my home for 3 decades. The windows are lit up. I see shadows moving inside. Laughter. Music. The party continues. Nobody comes out to look for me. Nobody opens the door to say it was a joke. That they love me. That please come back. I walk. I do not know where. I just walk. My feet move on their own. The box feels heavier and heavier. My arms ache. I pass 1 block, 2, 3. The sun begins to set. The sky turns orange, then pink, then violet. The colors are beautiful, but I feel nothing. I am empty, hollow, a shell walking down the street with a box containing the remains of a life. I reach my cousin Elaine's house, the one who was at the party, the one who turned her face away when I looked for her. I ring the bell. I wait. I hear footsteps inside. The door opens just a crack. Elaine peeks out. "Eleanor," she says without opening it further. "I need a place to sleep tonight," I tell her. My voice breaks. "Just tonight, please." Elaine looks back as if someone were watching her. "I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want trouble with Justin. He said nobody should help you. That it's a legal matter. That if someone helps you, he's going to—" She stops. She does not finish the sentence. She closes the door slowly. I hear the lock turning. I stand there like an idiot. I knock at 2 other houses. Neighbors I have known for years. The answer is the same. Closed doors. Murmured apologies. Fear in their eyes. Justin called them all. He threatened them. He convinced them that I am the problem, that I am the bad one, that I deserve this. I end up in a cheap motel near the bus station. The kind of place where they do not ask questions. I pay with the $20 I had hidden in my shoe. The only money Amber did not find. The room smells like mold and old cigarettes. The bed has a mustard-colored comforter with stains. The curtains are torn. The bathroom has cracked tiles. I sit on the edge of the bed with my box at my feet. I stare at the white wall in front of me. I do not cry. I cannot cry. I am beyond tears. It is my 68th birthday. I should be blowing out candles. I should be surrounded by love. Instead, I am in a room that costs $20 a night, without a penny in my pocket, without a roof of my own, without family, without anything. I lie down dressed on the stained comforter. I close my eyes. The silence is so deep I hear my own heartbeat. Each beat hurts. Each beat reminds me that I am still alive, even though I do not want to be. I think about Justin, about the baby he was, the child I cared for, the teenager I defended, the man I just lost. I wonder at what point I really lost him. Was it when he met Amber? Was it before? Was it me? Did I do something wrong? Did I love him too much? Did I love him too little? The questions eat at me, but there are no answers. There is only darkness and a cheap bed, and the weight of a betrayal that is burying me alive. I wake up when the sun comes through the torn curtains. For a second, I do not know where I am. Then I see the stain on the ceiling, the peeling paint, the cardboard box on the floor, and I remember. Everything comes back like an avalanche. My son, the documents, the keys, the 90 witnesses. I close my eyes again, but the memory does not go away. It stays stuck behind my eyelids like a movie I cannot stop. I get up. My bones creak. I am 68 years old, and I feel them all today. I walk to the bathroom. The mirror is stained, but I can see myself. My hair is messy. Deep, dark circles. Wrinkles that seem to have multiplied in one night. I look 10 years older than yesterday. I wash my face with cold water. The soap smells like cheap chemicals. I dry myself with a rough towel that scrapes my skin. I check my box. I take out a change of clean clothes. I change slowly. Each movement hurts. It is not physical pain. It is something worse. It is the pain of knowing I have nowhere to go, that I have nobody, that at my age I am starting from zero with nothing. I do not even have a toothbrush. I left it in the bathroom of my house, in the house that is no longer mine. I go down to the front desk. The man behind the counter looks at me with indifference. "Another night?" he asks. "I don't have any money," I admit. He shrugs. "Then you have to go." I carry my box and go out into the street. The day is gray. It is cold. I did not bring a coat. I walk without direction. My legs move, but my brain is off. I am an automaton, a machine running without purpose. I reach a small coffee shop on the corner. There is a bench outside. I sit down. I leave the box by my side. I watch people pass by. They are in a hurry, with cell phones in their hands, with steaming coffees, with lives that work, with homes to return to. Nobody looks at me. I am invisible. An old woman on a bench with a box, part of the urban landscape that everyone ignores. Then something inside me ignites. It is small, a tiny spark, but it is there. I think about the documents Justin showed me, about the signature that looked like mine but was not, about the dates, about the stamps, about the lawyer in the black suit with his leather briefcase, Arthur Sterling. That name sounds fake. It sounds made up. And the papers. Why did Justin have to show them to me if they were really legal? If everything were true, he would have just kicked me out. He did not need 90 witnesses. He did not need public humiliation. He did not need the show. I get up. I walk to a public library I know 3 blocks away. I go in. I ask to use a computer. The librarian looks at me with pity, but she gives me access. I sit in front of the screen. My fingers tremble on the keyboard. I search. Arthur Sterling, attorney. 200 results appear. None match the man I saw yesterday. I search the Bar Association registry. I enter the official site. I search for his name in the database. He does not exist. Arthur Sterling is not registered as an attorney in the entire state. The spark gets bigger. It becomes a flame. I search for information on property transfers. I read legal articles. I read requirements. I read procedures. A property transfer requires the presence of the original owner in front of the notary. It requires official identification. It requires impartial witnesses. It requires the owner to declare out loud that they are making the transfer voluntarily. I was never in front of any notary. I never declared anything. I never gave my identification. I never signed voluntarily. I print everything I find. I spend the last $3 I find in the lining of my shoe on copies. I leave the library with a folder full of information. I walk with purpose now. I go to the notary's office that appeared on Justin's documents. The address is on the paper. I arrive. It is a small office on the 2nd floor. I go up the stairs. Each step is an effort, but I go up. I enter. A young secretary is behind the desk. "Good morning," I say. My voice sounds firmer than I feel. I need to verify a document that was supposedly notarized here on October 18th. The secretary asks me for the file number. I give it to her. She searches on her computer. She frowns. That number doesn't exist in our system, she says. Are you sure? I ask. She checks again. Completely sure. That file was never registered here. The flame turns into a fire. Can you give me that in writing? The secretary hesitates. I need to speak with the notary first. I wait 20 minutes. The notary comes out. He is an older man with thick glasses. I explain the situation. He reviews the papers I bring. His face gets serious. This is a forgery, he says. The seal is a copy. The signature is not mine. The format of the document is incorrect. This is fraud. He gives me an official statement. A paper that says the documents are false, that no transfer was ever made in his office, that someone is committing a crime. I leave there shaking, but not from fear, from rage, from that cold rage that gives you mental clarity. Justin thought I was an old idiot. He thought he could deceive me with fake papers and an actor dressed as a lawyer. He thought I was not going to investigate, that I was going to give up, that I was going to sink into depression and disappear silently. He does not know me. He never really knew me. I go to the bank, my bank, the one 2 blocks from what was my house. I ask to speak with the manager. He makes me wait 40 minutes. Finally, he receives me. I need to know the status of my account, I tell him. He searches in his system. Your account was emptied 3 days ago, he says. By whom? I ask, although I already know the answer. By you. You came and withdrew the entire balance, $18,000. I feel the blood go to my feet. I didn't come here. I didn't withdraw anything. The manager frowns. Let me verify. He leaves. He returns with another employee, with papers, with recordings from the security cameras. They show me the screen. It is from October 15th, 3 days before the supposed transfer of the house. I see a woman enter the bank. She is wearing dark sunglasses, a headscarf, a long coat. She looks like me from a distance. She walks as if her legs hurt. Like I walk. She approaches the window. She hands over an identification. My identification. She fills out forms. She withdraws everything. $18,000 in cash. She leaves. I rewind the video. I pause on her face. The glasses are very large. The scarf covers a lot. But I can see. It is Amber, my daughter-in-law dressed up as me. She used my stolen identification. She emptied my account. I need copies of this, I tell the manager. My voice does not shake. I am cold, calculating. I need to file a report. This is identity theft. It's bank fraud. The manager turns pale. Ma'am, this is very serious. I'm going to have to call the police. Call them, I say. Call them now. I spend the next 4 hours at the bank. The police arrive. I give my statement. I show the evidence. I show the false document from the notary. I show the recordings. I tell them everything. The party. The 90 witnesses. The fake lawyer. The expulsion. The officer taking my statement looks increasingly serious. This is complex fraud, he says. Forgery of public documents. Identity theft. Theft. Abuse of trust. We are talking about several serious crimes. They give me copies of everything. They give me a case number. They tell me they are going to investigate, that they are going to subpoena Justin and Amber, that this may take time. But something in the officer's eyes tells me he believes me, that this is not going to stay like this. I leave the bank when it is getting dark. I have been there all day. I did not eat. I did not drink water. But I am not hungry. I am not thirsty. I have something else. I have a purpose. I go to a cafe with free Wi-Fi. I order a water. I sit in a corner with the laptop borrowed from the library. I start searching for everything about Amber. Her full name, Amber Romero. I search her social media, her history, her background, and I find something. Something that freezes my blood but also gives me more ammunition. Amber has a record. 6 years ago, she tried to do the same thing. With her own mother. She stripped her of her house. She left her in the street. There was a report. There was a trial. Her mother won but died the following year. From stress, from sadness, from betrayal. I print everything I find about Amber. Local newspaper articles, public court records, testimonies. Her mother was named Sofia Romero. She died alone in a nursing home after Amber stripped her of her assets. There are photos. Sofia was 70 years old when she died. In the photos from before, she looked happy. In the last ones, she looked like a ghost. Empty eyes, skin stuck to bones. Sadness turned into physical illness. I read every word, every detail. Amber used the same method. Forged documents, forged signature, fake lawyer, bought witnesses. My son married a professional predator, and I did not see it coming. I search for more. I find the name of the lawyer who defended Sofia. Grant Mitchell, a specialist in family fraud. I dial his number from a public phone. He answers on the third ring. I explain who I am, what happened to me. I tell him about Amber, about Justin, about everything. There is a long silence when I finish. Eleanor, Grant says finally. His voice sounds tired. Amber Romero is a textbook scammer. What she did to her mother was identical. And I know she has tried the same with at least 2 other elderly people. An aunt, a stepfather. Both cases were settled before going to trial because she returned what was stolen when she saw she had evidence against her. Why is she still free? I ask. My voice trembles with rage. Because she's smart, Grant replies. She chooses her victims well. Older people, people without family to defend them, people who don't know how to use technology to investigate. And when they catch her, she returns what was stolen and signs confidentiality agreements. She has never set foot in jail. I squeeze the phone so hard my knuckles hurt. Well, this time she's going to set foot in jail. I have proof. I have witnesses. I have everything. Grant pauses. Do you have money to pay me? There it is. The question that returns me to my reality. No, I admit. I have nothing. Then let's work on contingency, he says. If we win the case, you pay me a percentage of what is recovered. If we lose, I charge nothing. But I need you to understand something, Eleanor. This is going to be difficult. Your son is involved. He signed those documents along with Amber. He organized that public humiliation. He is going to face legal consequences too. Are you prepared for that? I close my eyes. I think about Justin, about my baby, about my child, about the man who betrayed me. Yes, I say. I am prepared. We meet the next day at his office. Grant is in his 50s, gray hair, serious face. He asks me to tell him everything from the beginning. He records my statement. He takes notes. He reviews every document I bring. The notary's statement, the bank recordings, the articles about Amber's history, the police reports. When I finish, 3 hours have passed. We have a solid case, he says. Very solid. But I need something else. I need to know where the money is now. That is where I have an advantage that nobody expects. Something I never told anyone, not even Justin. Before being a housewife, I worked for 25 years as a forensic accountant. I specialized in tracing hidden money, in finding corporate fraud, in following the trail of suspicious transactions. I retired when Justin was 15 to take care of him after the divorce. I kept my certificates, I kept my credentials, I kept everything in a box that Justin never checked because he thought it only had old photos and worthless memories. I can find the money, I tell Grant. He looks at me surprised. I explain my experience. His expression changes. Why didn't you tell me this before? He asks. Because I got used to being invisible, I answer. I got used to being just Justin's mom, the old woman who makes food and washes clothes. I forgot who I was before. Grant smiles for the first time. Well, it's time you remember. I set up in a small room that Grant lends me above his office. It is basic. A bed, a desk, a bathroom, but it has internet, it has privacy, it has everything I need. I take my old laptop out of the box, the one Justin thought no longer worked. I turn it on. It still works. I start working. I search public property records. Justin and Amber bought an apartment on October 20th, 2 days after the supposed transfer of my house. They paid $450,000 in cash. I search the name of the seller. It is Hector Romero, Amber's brother. I follow the trail. Hector Romero bought that apartment 6 months earlier for $200,000. He sold it for $450,000, a gain of $250,000 in 6 months, without doing any remodeling. It is basic money laundering. My money, the $18,000 from my bank account, plus something else. I search more. I find that Justin sold something too. My jewelry, my mother's jewelry that Amber kept. He sold it at a pawn shop for $12,000. I have the receipts. They are in his name. Date, October 19th. I keep searching. Justin has debts. Many debts. I search his credit records with the access I still have from my previous job. He owes $180,000. Casinos, sports betting, personal loans with criminal interest rates. He is drowning. That is why he did this. It was not just Amber. He needed my money. He needed my house. He needed to save his hide. And he chose to save his hide before his mother's. I compile everything. I make a timeline, each transaction, each date, each signature, each movement of money. I create a 120-page file, with graphs, with scanned documents, with irrefutable evidence. I show everything to Grant. He reads each page in silence. When he finishes, he looks at me with something like respect. "This is gold," he says. "With this, we destroy them." But we don't send it yet. Grant has a better strategy. "We are going to present everything to the district attorney," he says. Aggravated fraud, forgery of public documents, theft with aggravating circumstances due to kinship, conspiracy, money laundering. We are talking about 10 to 15 years in prison for each one. I stay quiet. 10 to 15 years. My son in prison. The idea makes my stomach churn. But then I remember his face when he took the keys from me. I remember Amber ripping my photos. I remember the 90 pairs of eyes watching me without doing anything. I remember the humiliation, the pain, the emptiness. "Go ahead," I say. "Present everything." Grant prepares the formal complaint. We present it Monday morning. The district attorney reviews the evidence for 2 days. On Wednesday, they issue arrest warrants. For Justin, for Amber, for Hector Romero for complicity, for Arthur Sterling, the actor who posed as a lawyer. On Thursday, they arrest them all. They take them out of my house in handcuffs. There are cameras. There are neighbors watching. There is exactly the same type of public humiliation they did to me. I am not going to see it. I cannot. I stay in my room above Grant's office watching the news on the computer. It appears in the local newspapers. Son and daughter-in-law arrested for defrauding 68-year-old mother. There are photos. Justin with his head down. Amber shouting that she is innocent. Amber's brother trying to cover his face. Arthur with an expression of panic. The comments on the news are brutal. People are outraged, furious. Dozens of people write that they knew Justin, that he seemed like a good person, that they never imagined, that what a horror, that how could he do that to his mother. My phone starts ringing. I got it back thanks to Grant. It is a new phone with the same number. The calls start on Friday. Justin from jail. Amber from her cell. Cousins. Uncles. The same ones who were at my birthday party and said nothing. The same ones who closed their doors to me when I asked for help. Now everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to explain. Everyone wants to apologize. I count the calls. 73 in one day. Just as I predicted in my mind when I left my house with my cardboard box. I do not answer any of them. I let it ring. I let the voicemail fill up. I let them feel the same silence I felt when I walked alone down the street, with nobody to defend me. Grant watches me work in silence. "Aren't you going to answer?" he asks. "No," I reply without looking up from my computer. Let them suffer. Let them wonder what I'm thinking. Let them wonder what comes next. Let them feel the fear. Grant nods. "You are stronger than you look." I smile, but it is a joyless smile. I had a good teacher. Life, the calls do not stop. Now they are more than 100 a day. Text messages, desperate voicemails. Justin from pretrial detention, his voice broken. "Mom, please. I need to talk to you. It was a mistake. Amber manipulated me. I didn't want this. Please, answer. Please." I delete each message without listening to the whole thing. Amber also calls, but she does not plead. She threatens. "This isn't over, you stupid old woman. I have contacts. I'm getting out. And when I get out, I'm going to destroy you." I save each threat, each word. They are more evidence for the district attorney. My cousin Elaine appears at Grant's office. The secretary tells me. "Tell her I'm not here," I reply. But Elaine comes up anyway. She knocks on my room door. "Eleanor, I know you're in there. Please, open up. I need to talk to you." I stay still, quiet. "Eleanor, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have helped you that day. I should have opened the door for you. But Justin told me that if I helped you, he was going to sue me, that he had papers proving the house was his. I believed you, but I was afraid. Please, forgive me." I open the door. Elaine is standing there with red eyes. She looks like she has not slept. "You were afraid?" I ask. My voice comes out cold as ice. "I was afraid too, Elaine. Afraid of sleeping in the street. Afraid of dying alone. Afraid that nobody would believe me. But the difference is that I was actually in danger. You were only afraid of an imaginary legal problem." Elaine starts to cry. "You're right. I was a coward. We were all cowards. The 90 of us who were there watching and did nothing." "And now what do you want?" I ask. "Forgiveness? Absolution? For me to tell you it's okay?" "It's not okay, Elaine. You let me die in life. You saw me fall and looked the other way." Elaine wipes her tears with the back of her hand. "You're right about everything. I only came to tell you that if you need me to testify in your favor, I will. I'm going to tell the truth about what I saw that day, about how Justin and Amber planned everything, about the conversations I heard before the party. Whatever you need." I look at her in silence. Part of me wants to close the door in her face, but the rational part knows that her testimony can be useful. "Talk to Grant," I say finally. "Give him your statement, but don't expect us to be family again. That died the day you closed your door." Elaine nods with her head down. "I understand," she whispers. She leaves. I see her go down the stairs with her shoulders slumped. I feel something like satisfaction, but also emptiness. Revenge does not fill you. It only closes wounds so they do not bleed anymore. Grant gets 11 other witnesses from the party to give their statements. 11 out of 90. The other 79 keep hiding. They keep pretending they did not see anything, that they were not there. But 11 is enough. 11 people say the same thing, that it was a planned trap, that Justin and Amber told them before the party that they were going to make an important announcement, that when they saw what actually happened, many wanted to intervene, but Justin warned them not to get involved, that it was a legal matter already resolved, that whoever interfered would have problems. The district attorney builds the case. It is solid, airtight, impossible to break. Justin tries to hire an expensive lawyer, but he has no money. Everything he stole is frozen by court order. He ends up with a public defender who tells him the truth from day one. "You're going to lose. The evidence is overwhelming. Your best option is to negotiate a reduced sentence." Amber hires 3 different lawyers. She fires them all when they tell her the same thing. Finally, she stays with one who promises her miracles, but only empties what little she has left. 2 months pass. The trial is scheduled. But something happens before. I receive a letter. It is from Justin. Handwritten. The handwriting is shaky. It says, "Mom, I know I don't deserve for you to listen to me. I know what I did was unforgivable. But I need you to know the truth. I had debts. Very large debts with very bad people. They threatened me. They said they were going to kill me if I didn't pay. Amber offered me a solution. She said you would be fine, that you were strong, that you would find another place. I didn't want to hurt you like that, but I was afraid. So afraid that I stopped being your son and became a monster. I don't ask for your forgiveness because I know I don't deserve it. I only ask you to understand that fear made me do the worst. I love you. I always loved you, even when I hurt you." I read the letter 3 times. Each time it gives me more rage, because he is right about something. Fear made him do the worst. But fear is an explanation, not an excuse. He chose. He chose his debts over my dignity. He chose his life over my home. He chose to save himself even if it meant destroying me. And that choice is unforgivable. Not in this life. I save the letter. I do not answer. Silence is my response. The day of the trial arrives. I put on my best clothes. It is no longer the old floral dress. Grant helped me buy a dark gray suit. I look different. I look strong. I look like the woman I was before I became the invisible mother everyone ignored. I enter the courtroom. Justin is sitting at the defense table. He sees me enter. His eyes fill with tears. He opens his mouth as if to say something. I look straight ahead. I do not recognize him. That man is not my son. My son died the day he ripped the keys from my hand. Amber is at another table. Separate trials by order of the judge. She looks at me with pure hatred. She no longer pretends. She no longer smiles. She shows what she really is. A trapped predator. The district attorney presents the evidence, one by one. The forged documents, the bank recordings, the testimonies of the 11 witnesses, my history as a forensic accountant, the trail of money, Justin's debts, Amber's background, the fraud she did to her own mother. Each piece falls like a hammer. Justin's lawyer tries to argue. He says his client was manipulated, that Amber deceived him, that he is repentant, that he deserves a second chance. The district attorney stands up. The defendant had many opportunities, he says. He had the opportunity to say no to Amber. He had the opportunity to protect his mother. He had the opportunity to confess when he realized what he was doing. He took none of those opportunities. Instead, he organized a public humiliation. He invited 90 witnesses. He hired an actor to pretend everything was legal. He emptied his mother's bank accounts. He stole her jewelry. He left her in the street without a cent. And he only repents now that he is facing the consequences. It is my turn to testify. I take the stand. I put my hand on the Bible. I swear to tell the truth. I sit down. The district attorney asks me questions. I tell everything. Every detail. Every humiliation. Every moment of pain. I talk for 2 hours. The room is in absolute silence. I can see some members of the jury wiping their eyes. When I finish, Justin's lawyer asks me questions. He tries to make me look vengeful. He tries to suggest I am exaggerating. He tries to plant doubt. "Isn't it true that you and your son had a difficult relationship?" he asks. "No," I reply. "We had a normal relationship until he met Amber." "Isn't it true that you opposed their marriage?" I opposed her specifically. I investigated her past. I warned Justin about what she did to her mother. He didn't believe me. "Isn't it true that you threatened to disinherit him if he married her?" I never threatened him. I told him to be careful, to protect his assets. It turns out I should have protected mine. The lawyer changes tactics. "You worked as a forensic accountant, correct?" "Correct. And you used those skills to investigate your own son?" "I used those skills to find the truth after he defrauded me." "Don't you think that is an invasion of his privacy?" I lean forward. I look him straight in the eyes. "Do you know what an invasion is? Having someone reach into your pocket and steal your wallet? Having someone push you out of your house? Having someone destroy every photo of your life in front of 90 people? That is invasion." I only sought justice. Justin's trial lasts 5 days. Each day is a parade of evidence that sinks him further. The district attorney brings the bank employee who gave the money to Amber, disguised as me. He brings the owner of the pawn shop where Justin sold my mother's jewelry. He brings the creditors from the casinos. They all say the same thing. Justin was desperate. Justin needed money urgently. Justin talked about solving the problem weeks before my birthday. Premeditation is proven. It was not an impulse. It was a calculated plan, executed with coldness. On the 5th day, the jury retires to deliberate. It takes 4 hours. When they return, I can read the verdict on their faces before they say it. Guilty. Guilty on all counts. Aggravated fraud, forgery of documents, theft with aggravating circumstances due to kinship, conspiracy. The judge schedules sentencing for 2 weeks later. Justin collapses in his chair. He cries. His lawyer puts a hand on his shoulder, but there is no comfort possible. I watch the scene without feeling anything. I am empty. Neither happy nor sad. Just empty. Amber's trial is different. She fights. She screams. She accuses. She says everything was Justin's idea, that she only helped him for love, that she did not know it was illegal, that I manipulated her to look like a victim. Her lawyer presents an aggressive defense, but the district attorney has too much evidence. The history with her mother, the other 2 fraud attempts, the text messages where she plans every detail, messages I recovered from the cloud using my technology knowledge, messages where she says things like, The old woman is stupid. It's going to be easy. We just need her to sign without reading. When we get her out, we're going to sell everything and go to the Bahamas. The jury finds her guilty in 6 hours. Amber screams that it is an injustice, that everyone is against her, that the system is corrupt. They take her out of the room in handcuffs while she keeps screaming. Her brother Hector is also found guilty of complicity and money laundering. Arthur, the actor, receives the lightest sentence for cooperating with the prosecution and confessing everything. 2 years of probation. The other 3 face real prison. The day of sentencing arrives. The room is full. Reporters, curious people. Some of the 90 witnesses who now want to see how the story they helped create with their silence ends. The judge enters. We all stand up. We sit down. The judge reads the charges. He reads the evidence. He speaks for 20 minutes about the gravity of the case, about the vulnerability of the elderly, about the abuse of family trust, about how these crimes destroy the social fabric. Justin Ruiz, says the judge, you betrayed the person who gave you life, the person who raised you alone after the divorce, the person who sacrificed everything for your well-being, and when she most needed your protection, you chose to destroy her. Not out of necessity, but out of greed and cowardice. This court finds no mitigating circumstances. I sentence you to 12 years in prison without the possibility of early release. 12 years. Justin is 38. He will get out at 50. I will be 80. If I am still alive, if I want to see him. If there is anything to say after so much silence. Justin cries out loud. Mom, please, he shouts, turning toward me. Say something, please. I say nothing. I just look at him. I let him see my face. I let him see the void where there used to be love. I let him understand that some things cannot be repaired. Amber Romero, the judge continues. You are a serial predator. You have done this before. You have ruined lives before, and according to the evidence presented, you plan to keep doing it. Your record shows a pattern of abuse toward vulnerable people. This court has the duty to protect society from people like you. I sentence you to 15 years in prison without the possibility of early release. In addition, you will face additional charges for the previous cases that were reopened during this investigation. 15 years. Amber is 35. She will get out at 50, a lost decade. Her youth consumed by the consequences of her own cruelty. She does not cry. She looks at me with pure hatred. This is your fault, she shouts at me. All of this is your fault. You bitter old woman. I hope you die alone. The guards grab her. They take her out. Her screams fade down the hallway. The judge hits his gavel. Order. Order in the courtroom. Hector Romero receives 8 years. The judge says his participation was minor but crucial to the success of the fraud. Without his help in laundering the money, the plan would not have worked. He leaves in handcuffs, without looking at anyone. Arthur, the actor, stands in front of the judge trembling. Your cooperation was valuable, says the judge. But you lent your image to commit fraud. You consciously participated in the deception of a vulnerable person. 2 years in prison. You will serve 6 actual months and the rest on probation. The gavel falls. It is over. The guards take everyone away. I stay seated. The room empties slowly. Grant, the lawyer, sits next to me. We won, he says. We won everything. I nod. But I do not feel victory. I feel something more complex. Something that has no name. Now comes the civil part. Grant continues. We are going to get your house back. Your money. Everything. They are going to have to return every cent plus damages. We leave the court. There are cameras outside. Reporters. They surround me. Eleanor, how do you feel? What would you say to your son now? Do you think the sentence was fair? Are you going to forgive him someday? The questions rain down. Grant protects me with his body. He makes way. We get to his car. We get in. The cameras keep taking photos through the glass. We drive in silence for 10 minutes. Are you going to visit him? Grant finally asks. In prison? No, I reply, looking out the window. I have nothing to say to him. He is your son. He was my son. The man in prison is a stranger who looks like him. Grant sighs. Hatred will consume you, Eleanor. I look at him. It's not hatred. It's indifference. Which is worse? Hatred means you still care. I don't feel anything anymore. We pass by my house, my real house. It is still sealed by court order until the civil process is completed. But soon it will be mine again. Soon I will be able to enter. Soon I will be able to hang new photos on the walls. Soon I will be able to sleep in my bed. Soon I will be able to recover some of what I lost. Not everything, never everything, but something. We reach Grant's office. I go up to my room. I sit on the bed. I take Justin's letter out of the drawer, the one he wrote me from pretrial detention. I read it again. I love you. I always loved you. Even when I hurt you. I take a lighter. I bring the flame to the corner of the paper. I watch it catch, how the fire consumes the words, how the ashes fall into the ashtray I borrowed. I watch how my son's I love you turns into smoke and disappears. My phone rings. It is an unknown number. I answer. Eleanor? Says a woman's voice. Yes, I'm Patricia Morales, a journalist for Channel 7. I would like to interview you about your case. Your story is inspiring many older people who suffer family abuse. We want to give you a platform to speak. I think of all those who suffered like me, all those who kept quiet, all those who gave up, all those who did not have the tools I had. I accept, I say. But on one condition. I want the interview to be long. I want to tell every detail. I want other people to know exactly what signs to look for, what to do if it happens to them, how to protect themselves, how to fight. Patricia gets excited. Of course, we will give you all the time you need. Tomorrow at 10. I'll be there, I reply. I hang up. I look at myself in the mirror. The woman looking back at me is no longer the same one who entered her house with a cake 3 months ago. This woman is tougher, colder, stronger, lonelier, but she is alive, and that counts. That night I sleep well for the first time in months. No nightmares, no tears, no questions, just the deep silence of someone who no longer has anything to lose because she already lost everything and survived. The silence of someone who fell into the abyss and found there was a floor, the silence of someone who died and was resurrected as something different, something more dangerous, something that is no longer afraid. The interview is live. I wear little makeup. I want them to see my wrinkles. I want them to see my age. I want them to understand that this can happen to anyone. I wear the same gray suit from the trial. I look professional, strong. I am no longer the victim. I am the survivor. Patricia receives me in the studio. She is young, 30s, kind but serious. We're going to let you speak, she says. No interruptions, no commercials, 40 full minutes. I nod. I sit in front of the cameras. The lights turn on. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, says Patricia, looking at the camera. Today we have with us Eleanor Ruiz, the 68-year-old woman who was defrauded by her own son and daughter-in-law in one of the most shocking stories of family abuse we have seen. Eleanor, thank you for being here. She turns to see me. Tell us what happened on the day of your birthday. I start talking. I tell every detail. The party, the ripped photos, the fake documents, the stolen wallet, the imposter lawyer, the 90 silent witnesses, the cardboard box, the $20 motel. I talk for 15 minutes without stopping. Patricia does not interrupt. I see her wipe her eyes discreetly. When I get to the part where Elaine closes the door on me, Patricia pauses. How did you manage not to give up? She asks. I look at her directly. Because I remembered who I was before being just a mother. I remembered that I had skills, knowledge, strength. I had forgotten. I had become invisible. The little old lady who makes food and washes clothes. But I was a forensic accountant for 25 years. I traced frauds of millions of dollars. And suddenly, I was allowing my son to steal from me because I had forgotten my own power. Patricia leans forward. That is an important message. Many older women define themselves only by their family roles. They forget who they were. Exactly, I reply. And abusers count on that. They count on you being invisible, on you not knowing how to defend yourself, on you being afraid, on you giving up. Patricia nods. What would you say to other people who are suffering family abuse right now? I look directly at the camera. Document everything. Keep evidence. Do not trust blindly, not even your family. Protect your finances. Never sign anything without reading. Never give access to your accounts. Seek legal help immediately. And remember that true love does not ask you to destroy yourself. If someone loves you, they are not going to leave you in the street. They are not going to steal from you. They are not going to humiliate you. That is not love. That is abuse. Patricia has tears in her eyes. Powerful, she whispers. We continue. I tell about the investigation, about finding the false documents, about tracing the money, about discovering Amber's background, about the trial, about the sentences. 40 minutes become 50. Production signals Patricia, but she ignores them. She lets me keep talking. When I finish, there is silence in the studio. Patricia takes my hand. Thank you, she says. Thank you for your courage, for your story, for giving hope. The interview airs that same night. Social media explodes. In 2 hours, I am a national trend. Thousands of comments. What a strong woman. This happened to me and I gave up. I wish I had seen this before. My mother is suffering the same thing. I'm going to help her now. Children who abuse their parents deserve life in prison. Eleanor is my hero. I read every comment, every story, every testimony from people who suffered the same. I am not alone. I never was alone. I just thought I was. The next day, 3 more programs contact me. A famous podcast, 2 national newspapers, a magazine. They all want my story. I accept every invitation. I tell my story again and again. Each time it gets easier. Each time it hurts less. Each time it feels more like a weapon than a wound. A week later, I receive an email. It is from a publisher. They want me to write a book. Your story needs to be told in detail, says the editor. It needs to be a guide for others. A survival manual. I accept. I start writing. Every night after the interviews, I write about my life, about my marriage, about raising Justin alone, about forgetting myself little by little, about becoming invisible, about the betrayal, about the fall, about the rising. I write 200 pages in 3 weeks. I cannot stop. The words flow like blood from a wound that is finally healing. The civil process moves quickly. The judge orders the immediate return of my house, of my money, of everything. Justin and Amber have no way to pay. The apartment they bought is auctioned. Accounts are seized. Money is recovered. $18,000 from the account, $12,000 from the jewelry, plus $60,000 in damages that they are never going to be able to pay, but that remain as an eternal debt. The judge also orders that they pay me for emotional distress, $100,000, divided among the 4 convicts. Money that I will probably never see, but that exists on paper as recognition of my pain. I get the keys to my house back on a Tuesday afternoon. Grant accompanies me. I open the door. The smell is different. It smells like abandonment, like a closed space. I turn on the lights. Everything is exactly as Justin and Amber left it the day they were arrested. There are dirty dishes in the kitchen, clothes thrown on the sofa, empty wine bottles. They lived here like invaders for weeks before they were caught. They profaned my space. They slept in my bed. They used my things. I walk through each room. My bedroom has the bed unmade. Amber's clothes in my closet. Makeup on my dresser. I breathe deep. I do not cry. I do not collapse. I only observe. I mark the damage mentally. Everything is going to be cleaned. Everything is going to be replaced. Everything is going to be disinfected. This house is going to be mine again. I'm going to do it myself, I say. With my hands. I need to reclaim this space personally. I need to erase their presence with my own effort. Grant looks at me worried. Eleanor, you are 68 years old. It's a lot of work. I smile. I am 68 years old, and I just took down 4 criminals. I think I can paint my own house. I start the next day. I buy paint, brushes, rollers, rags, buckets. I start with the living room walls. I cover the holes with spackle. I sand until they are smooth. I paint layer after layer. Clean white, new white, white that covers the past. My arms ache. My back aches. My knees ache. But I do not stop. Each pass of paint is therapy. Each wall finished is victory. It takes me 2 weeks. I paint the whole house by myself. Grant stops by to visit me every day. He brings me food, he helps me move furniture. But he respects that I want to do the heavy work. The last wall I paint is the one in my room, the one that had my family photos, the one Amber destroyed. I paint over the holes until they disappear completely, until no trace remains of what was there, until it is just a white wall full of possibilities. I buy new photos. But not from the past, from the present. I take selfies, I go for walks and photograph flowers, trees, sunrises. I print the photos, I frame them, I hang them on the same wall. But this time they are different. They are not memories of what I lost. They are celebrations of what I survived. They are proof that I am still here, that I am still alive, that they did not win. One afternoon the bell rings. I open it. It is my cousin Alan, the one who toasted with Justin at the party while I walked out with my box. He looks at me ashamed. "Eleanor," he says, "I came to apologize." I do not invite him in. I stay in the doorway. "And?" I say. "And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being a coward. I'm sorry for celebrating while they were destroying you. I'm sorry for doing nothing." I look at him in silence. "Do you know what the worst part is, Alan? It wasn't just that you did nothing. It's that you toasted. You drank their champagne. You ate their food. You laughed. While I was carrying a box with my whole life in it, you were enjoying the party." Alan lowers his head. "You're right. I have no excuse. I only came to tell you that if someday you can forgive me, I'll be waiting. And if you can't, I understand." "I can't," I say simply. "Not now, maybe never, but I appreciate that you came." I close the door slowly. I see him walk away through the window. He walks with his shoulders slumped, with guilt visible in every step. I feel something like compassion, but not enough to open the door again. 3 months have passed since I got my house back. The book is finished. The publisher releases it with the title, Invisible No More: How I Reclaimed My Life After Family Betrayal. The cover has my photo. I no longer look like the broken old woman from the cheap motel. I look strong, determined, alive. The book goes on sale on a Tuesday. By Friday, it is #1 in sales. The reviews are overwhelming. Mandatory reading, a survival manual, the story all older people need to read. I am invited to give lectures. The first is at a community center for older people. There are 200 people in the audience, all women over 60, all with stories similar to mine. I talk for an hour. I tell my story. I give practical advice. I explain how to protect finances, how to recognize signs of abuse, how to seek help. When I finish, there is a standing ovation that lasts 5 minutes. Then they form a line to talk to me. One by one, they tell me their stories, their children who steal from them, their grandchildren who manipulate them, their families who ignore them. A 72-year-old woman hugs me crying. "My daughter took my house from me 2 years ago," she says. "I thought it was too late to do anything. But after listening to you, I'm going to fight. I'm going to find a lawyer. I'm going to get back what is mine." I give her Grant's number. "Tell him you come from me," I tell her. "He will help you." She kisses my cheek. "Thank you for giving us hope." That night I get home exhausted but satisfied. My pain is serving a purpose. My story is saving others. One Saturday morning, I receive a letter. It is from the prison. From Justin. I leave it on the kitchen table without opening it. I look at it for 3 days. I do not know if I want to read what it says. I am not sure if I am ready. On Wednesday, I finally open it. The handwriting is the same as always. It says, "Mom, I know I don't deserve for you to read this. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I need you to know that every day I think about what I did. Every day I wake up, and the first thing I remember is your face when they took me away in handcuffs. The emptiness in your eyes. The way you looked at me as if I were a stranger. I have a cellmate who is 70 years old. His son visits him every week. He hugs him. He brings him food. He tells him about his grandchildren. I see that and it hurts so much I cannot breathe. Because I know I will never have that. I know I lost you forever. And the worst part is that it was my fault. Completely my fault. I cannot blame Amber. I cannot blame the debts. I cannot blame the fear. I made the decisions. I executed the plan. I destroyed you. I don't ask you to come see me. I don't ask you to forgive me. I only ask you to know that I am repentant, that if I could go back in time, I would do everything differently, that I would rather be dead than have seen the pain on your face that day. I love you, Mom. I always loved you, and I'm going to die loving you even if I never see you again. I finish reading. I fold the letter. I keep it in a drawer. I do not answer. I am not going to answer. But I do not throw it away either. I keep it as evidence that I once had a son, that there was once love, that something existed before everything broke. The book generates so much impact that I am contacted by a national television program. They want to do a 1-hour special on my case, with interviews, with reconstructions, with experts talking about family abuse. I accept on one condition. I want them to also interview victims who did not have my luck, who could not fight, who lost everything, who died in the process. I want their stories to be told. The program is recorded over 2 weeks. I visit 5 older women in different cities. All lost their houses, their money, their dignity. One died before we could finish her interview. Her daughter had let her die alone in a cheap nursing home after stealing everything from her. The other 4 are living on the minimum, depending on charity, broken inside. I give them copies of my book. I give them money from the profits. I give them hope. But I know that for some, it is too late. The special airs on a Sunday night. 20 million people watch it. Social media explodes again. Politicians start talking about creating stronger laws against family abuse, about protecting the elderly, about making it harder for children to steal from their parents. 3 states propose new laws. 1 carries my name, the Eleanor Act for the Protection of Older Adults. I am invited to Congress to testify. I travel to the Capitol. I speak in front of dozens of legislators. I tell them my story one more time. I show them the statistics. Each year, 50,000 older people are defrauded by family members. Only 10% report it. Less than 5% recover anything. 2 months later, the law is passed. It increases penalties for family fraud. It creates a registry of abusers. It facilitates the legal process for victims. It establishes emergency funds for older people stripped of their homes. It is not going to save everyone. It is not going to prevent everything, but it is going to help. It is going to make a difference. The day they sign the law, I am invited to the ceremony. I stand behind the governor as he signs. Cameras take photos. They hand me the pen he signed with. I keep it as a treasure. I return to my house that night. I sit in my living room, on my sofa, in my recovered space. I look at the white walls with new photos. I think about everything that happened, the fall, the rising, the transformation. I am no longer the invisible Eleanor who cooked and cleaned waiting for love. I am no longer the victim trembling in a cheap motel. I am no longer the mother broken by betrayal. I am something new, something harder, something that was born of pain, but no longer lives in it. My phone rings. It is Grant. "Did you see the news?" he asks. "What news?" "Amber was attacked in prison. She's in the hospital. Serious." I feel something in my chest. It is not joy. It is not sadness. It is something in between, something complex. Is she going to survive? I ask. They don't know. The next few days are critical. I hang up. I sit down. I think about Amber, about her hatred, about her cruelty, about her final shout. "I hope you die alone." Maybe she dies first. Maybe not. I do not know what to feel about it. I should feel compassion. I should feel something human. But I only feel an empty space. She wanted to destroy me. She almost succeeded. Now, life is destroying her. It is karma. It is justice. It is the universe balancing itself. I am not going to visit her. I am not going to ask about her. I am not going to think about her anymore after tonight. I already gave her enough space in my head. That night, I write in my diary, something I started months ago as therapy. I write, "Today a law was passed with my name. Today my pain became protection for others. Today my story stopped being just mine and became a tool. Today I understood that I survived for a reason, not only to recover my house, but to build bridges for others to cross the same abyss that I crossed. That is worth more than any revenge. That is worth more than any apology. That gives meaning to everything." 6 months have passed since the passage of the law. My life has become something I never imagined. I travel the country giving lectures. I help people recover what was stolen from them. I work with Grant on cases similar to mine. We have won 17 out of 19 cases. 2 families recovered their houses. 5 recovered their money. 3 managed to put their abusers in prison. Each victory feels like oxygen, like proof that the suffering was not in vain. I receive a call on a Tuesday afternoon. It is from the warden of the prison where Justin is. "Mrs. Ruiz," he says in a formal voice, "your son is in the infirmary. He had a collapse. He is asking to see you. He says he needs to talk to you before it's too late." I feel a knot in my stomach. "What happened to him?" I ask. "He tried to take his own life," the warden replies. "They found him in time, but he is very weak, physically and mentally. The psychologists say he is destroyed by guilt, that he doesn't eat, that he doesn't sleep, that he only talks about you." I hang up the phone. I sit down. I breathe. I think. Justin tried to kill himself. My son, the baby I carried, the child I raised, the man who destroyed me. He is dying inside in a cell, asking to see me, asking for something I do not know if I can give. I spend 3 days thinking, 3 days where I do not sleep well, where the memories return, the good and the bad. Justin at 5 years old, hugging me after a nightmare. Justin at 15 telling me I was the best mom in the world. Justin at 38 ripping the keys out of my hand. On Friday, I drive to the prison. It is a gray building, cold, depressing. I go through security. They search me. They take my phone. They take me to a medical visiting room. There is a table, 2 chairs, white walls, nothing else. I wait 10 minutes. The door opens. Justin enters. I do not recognize him. He has lost 45 pounds. He has gray hair, deep dark circles, grayish skin. He looks 60 years old, although he is 38. He sees me. His eyes fill with tears immediately. He sits across from me. He does not touch me. He does not try to hug me. He only looks at me as if he were seeing a ghost. "You came," he whispers. His voice is broken. "I came," I say. My voice comes out colder than I intended. Silence. Long, uncomfortable, painful. "I don't know where to start," he finally says. "Then don't start," I reply. "Just listen." I lean forward. "I am going to tell you something once. Then I am going to leave, and I am not coming back. Do you understand?" He nods. Tears run down his face. "What you did to me was unforgivable. You didn't just steal from me. That is the least of it. You humiliated me in front of 90 people. You treated me like trash. You left me in the street with nothing. You allowed your wife to treat me worse than a dog. And you did it on my birthday, on the day when I was supposed to feel loved. You turned me into a spectacle, into a public victim, into a warning for others about what happens when you trust too much." My voice does not tremble. Each word comes out clear, precise, cutting. I spent nights without sleeping, asking myself what I did wrong. Where did I fail as a mother? At what point did the child I loved become the man who destroyed me? And you know what I discovered? That it wasn't my fault. That I loved you well. That I gave you everything. That you simply chose wrong. You chose the money. You chose the fear. You chose a toxic woman. You chose the easy way out. And those choices have consequences. Justin sobs. His body shakes. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry." "Your repentance doesn't change anything," I continue. "It doesn't give me back the months of suffering. It doesn't erase the humiliation. It doesn't repair the betrayal. Your repentance only serves you, to feel less guilty, to sleep better, to tell yourself that you are not the monster you were. But I didn't come here to give you absolution. I came to tell you the truth. And the truth is this: you are no longer my son. The day you took the keys from me, you killed my son." The man standing in front of me is a stranger with his face. Justin falls apart. He puts his head between his hands. "Don't say that," he begs. "Please don't say that." "It is the truth," I say without emotion. "And you need to hear it. You need to live with it. You need to carry the weight of knowing that you killed something that cannot be resurrected. A mother's love is not infinite. It has limits. And you found that limit. You crossed it. You destroyed it. I get up. You have 11 and a half more years of your sentence. Use them to become someone different. Not for me. I no longer matter in your life. Do it for yourself, so that when you get out, you are not the same coward who went in. I walk toward the door. Mom, wait, Justin shouts, standing up. The guards stop him. Please, please give me something of hope, something to keep me alive. I turn around. I look at him one last time. You want hope? Here it is. The pain you feel now is proof that you are still human, that you still have a conscience. Some never have it. Hold on to that. Use it to be better. But not for me, for the rest of the world. I leave. The door closes behind me. I hear his crying on the other side. I do not turn around. I keep walking. I leave the prison. The sun is bright. The air smells like freedom. I get into my car. I drive in silence for an hour. When I get home, I sit in my garden. I look at the roses I planted 2 months ago. They are blooming, red, vibrant, alive. I planted them in the exact spot where Justin used to park his car when he came to visit me in the old days. Now there is beauty where there used to be only bitter memories. My phone rings. It is a woman from abroad. She read my book. Her daughter is defrauding her. She needs help. I give her the contact of a lawyer I know. I tell her not to give up, to fight, to survive. I hang up. Immediately another call rings. And another. The phone does not stop. My story became international. My pain turned into hope for thousands. That night I write the last page of my diary. I write, today I closed a chapter, not with forgiveness, not with reconciliation, but with truth. I told my son what he needed to hear, not what he wanted to hear. And I left, not with hatred, not with love, but with indifference. What is the true ending? When you no longer feel anything, neither good nor bad, just a void where something used to be. That is freedom. That is peace. I am 69 years old. I lost my son, but I found myself. I lost my money, but I gained my voice. I lost my naivety, but I gained my power. I am no longer invisible. I am no longer the victim. I am the woman who fell into the abyss and climbed back out with bleeding but intact hands. I am the woman who turned her tragedy into law, who saved others from her same fate, who refused to die even though they buried her alive. I close the diary. I put it away. I look out the window. The sky is starry, beautiful, infinite. I think about everything I survived, about everything I learned, about everything I have yet to live. And I smile, a small but real smile, because finally I understand something fundamental. I did not need Justin to love me to have value. I did not need my family to defend me to have strength. I did not need anything external to be complete. Everything I needed was always inside me. I just had to fall low enough to remember it. I pour myself a glass of wine. I toast alone in my recovered living room. I toast to myself, for surviving, for fighting, for winning, for becoming something bigger than my pain. The roses in the garden sway with the night wind. Tomorrow, more will bloom, and the day after tomorrow, more. And I will be here to see them, alive, free, unstoppable.